I'm not one to proffer songs, but that song by Mensa, after everything he's sung in the past, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that place. Myopia, them know they see nothing. See, eyes without seeing, heart without feeling, mind without thinking. And it's not a diss to anybody, so to speak. It's to all of us. I'll just, right before we get into the news review, I'll share a little story with you. Yesterday, I went to a filling station somewhere. I don't know why we have this habit. A lot of us, you're getting into a filling station. There's an entry point and an exit point. Some people choose to use the exit point as an entry point. So usually you would have entry from here, exit from there. And this trotro driver, together with another person, they are both struggling to get in. And I roll down and I'm like, Charlie. And then apparently this guy is a fan. So now he's, hey, boss, but Charlie, you're not doing the right thing. It's all of us. All of us are part of Ghana's problems. And if we're going to resolve them, all of us need some reshaping of our thoughts, our minds, and some proper reorientation. That's the way to go. Singapore, when they did it, they needed that as well. I need it, you need it, the president needs it, the vice president needs it, parliamentarians need it, everybody needs it. The justices of the court, our lawyers, they need it too. But bit by bit, God willing, if we put in the work, we shall get there. Now, this segment, the news review segment, is always brought to you courtesy of Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. Here's what they're offering you. If you're a man, prostate screening for free. If you're a woman, fertility screening for free. Here's where you can locate them. At Spintex here in Accra, opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi Kronuma here, behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takrady Energy Estate, there's Tema Community 22, there's Techiman Hanswa, and there's Yamanzama. Their call lines 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Let me say a very good morning to Dr. Peter Atie, Executive Director, Institute for Education Studies. Doc, good morning.
How are you?
Oh, I am as well as your lovely shirt this morning. I'm as well as your lovely shirt. It's a beautiful shirt, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
I said, you can't be fresh alone, no, Doc. That's on a lighter note. I just wanted you to smile into the new week. Anyway, so there's a whole lot to digest in the newspapers, but even today we're contemplating another school in our schools of shame that we brought to you today. It's becoming, we keep exposing them, we keep bringing them up, but it's also very heartbreaking looking at the situation. Let me just bring it to you. So where is that school? I'll look for it and bring it to you. But it appears a lot of our schools, in terms of the schools of shame, are popping up, and it's pretty heart-wrenching. Yes, so I'm talking about the Tamfiano DA Basic School. Basically, teachers, the educators, students have to go through a cemetery together with other challenges just to get into this educational institution. And I don't know how much more, you are in that sector proper, I don't know how much more can be done to make education more attractive to our younger ones. What do you think? What say you?
Thank you, and good morning to your viewers. I think I have already commended you and the team for the Schools of Shame documentary that you are doing, and I will continue to do that because for me, I believe that we are doing well in the education sector. It doesn't mean that we should put under the table the challenges that most of our people in the deprived areas are facing. And that is why I think that this documentary is very, very important, because the more we throw light on them, the more they get the needed attention, the more they are lifted from their state of deprivation to a state where we can say we are giving them some sort of quality education. One of the things that we have to look at always is to look at the school environment. You see, the school environment should be designed in such a way that there is an atmosphere that promotes learning. Okay, there is that kind of psychological build up as the person approaches the school environment, and the mind should automatically be tilted towards academic activities. You can't have this in this school. There's no way that you can have this kind of this quality education in this school. You cannot have any kind of good education, a stable mind. You cannot have an environment that promotes learning, teaching and learning in this school, because there's a cemetery there. Okay, and we all know, all of us, even older people, we know the kind of association we have with these kinds of places. Although we can't do anything about it, we'll all go there one day. But what kind of mind, what psychological state do you think this case will be in as they sit in the classroom and they turn right and they turn left and they are surrounded by these environments? There's no way that the children will be able to concentrate and learn and come out to be something that we want them to be. So it's important that our leaders pay attention to some of these schools. And I keep saying that there are people who have been paid, okay, or who are paid always to go to these schools and then report the state of education that is happening in there. And these are the school inspectors, what we call the CISOs. So even if we say that those in Accra are not aware, the education office in that district should be aware of the state of education in this particular school, of the state of the infrastructure in this particular school, of the location of this school. And they should have taken steps to ensure that these environments are not the environments that our kids are having the education in there. So we even start from the basis, the CISO, the district education officers in there. Then you move to the regional, and of course we can come to the national and blame the ultimate authorities that we cannot continue to have our kids in these environments and make noise about certain achievements that we have made in the education sector. I don't think we need to continue this way. And kudos to your team and those who are doing the documentary. I think we need to show more light on these and other schools that are going through these circumstances. And I hope that as we go forward, the people will demand that the authorities in the education sector take action against some of these schools that we are witnessing.
Well, thank you for those initial thoughts. You'd also have to extend those congratulatory messages to the likes of Jojo Kobina and Abla de Souza, among others. They are at the helm of some of these productions as we highlight the plight of our young ones. But let's get into the newspapers. I couldn't have gone on without bringing that to your attention. So now that we've got that out of the way, the Daily Guide newspaper this morning says, let our MP go solo, in Sawam chiefs say so. Economy responding to Bank of Ghana policies. That's according to Dr. Ernest Addison. I'm not lame duck president. Nana jabs Bagbin. Louisa Atajaman is NHIA deputy CEO. And those are some of the stories there. Let me get into them. But there's also this, interesting image. Back to IPAC and Lucky Dube in the background. I'm going back to my roots. And pictured there, General Mosquito, who is now chairperson of the NDC. I'm talking about Johnson Esidu Nketia with his guitar. Blah, da, 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 da. All the way back to IPAC. Anyway, I'm not lame duck president, Nana jabs Bagbin. President Nana Akufo-Addo has taken a swipe at the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, following his comments that he had become a lame duck. President, following the election of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the new Patriotic Party's presidential candidate. Now, rejecting the tag, President Akufo-Addo said he was still president till 2025, which he is. Now, quote, Speaker Bagbin says I am a lame duck. Well, that is his language. I am still the President of the Republic, and I will continue to do so until January the 7th, 2025, President Akufo-Addo said. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has asserted that the President was losing loyalty from key personalities in the MPP, including MPs after the Vice President became the flag bearer of the party. But speaking at a meeting with chiefs and residents of Nima in Accra during the celebration to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Alhaj Fall becoming the chief of Nima as Nifuta, President Akufo-Addo said he was still in charge of the country until January the 7th, 2025. Should this even be a tussle? I don't know. But one thing, I think the president's response this time, I don't think was off the charts in a way, at least. He's just saying, reiterating that I'm still president until 2025, which is what the Constitution says. On the other hand, though, I look at the fact that he's gone a bit more quiet after the flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was selected or elected. And yes, the party is showing Baumia's face a lot more, maybe 80% more. But on the other hand, what would you expect? President Akufo-Addo is not going for another term. He is president, but he's not seeking another term. But Mahmoud Bawumia is seeking a term. So you can balance it out and strike the differences, but I guess it's politics in the end. I don't want to see any party with majority. That's the speaker. Now, Speaker of Parliament, staying with him, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, has stated that he does not want to see any party in Ghana with a large majority in parliament, as a hung parliament is the best system for the country. I agree. A hung parliament, he said, prevents any elected dictatorship, emphasizing that the country has chosen the path of democracy and that it should be protected. And maybe I'll add this one before you come in, Dr. Atie. Police stray bullet kills woman. Now, a woman at Pig Farm, a suburb of Accra, was struck and killed by a stray bullet from police during an anti-robbery operation at the weekend. Now, a statement from the police said the woman was pronounced dead when she was rushed to a hospital. The body has been deposited at the morgue for preservation and autopsy, the statement signed by ACP Grace Ansan Akrofi added. It added that the leadership of the Ghana Police Service had visited the bereaved family and, quote, will continue to support them through these difficult times. Once again, we wish to express our sincerest and deepest condolences to the bereaved family. Yeah, so you can commiserate with them, but you can't give back the life. That's the sad aspect. Your reflections, Dr. Atie, before I go off on the Ghana Police Service. I think I'll just hold it. What are your reactions?
Yeah, let me start with the last story. I think it's unfortunate that someone will lose a life in this state, especially getting to the end of the year. Everybody is protecting the family and hoping that they will enter the new year with everybody intact. So to lose a family member in this state is very unfortunate. And I think that it sometimes questions the professionality of our police people when they are embarking on some of these things. But accidents do happen. And so we would continue to urge the police to be more circumspect when they are embarking on some of these operations so that we will not have these casualties, especially innocent people who, through no fault of theirs, have to lose their lives because of these stray bullets.
You say accidents do happen, which is the case, but when it's one time or one too many, often here and there, this has happened, that has happened, then that is where you really want to question the institution and find out what exactly is going on. Exactly.
I agree with you. And that's why I said that the police are believed to be professionals when it comes to some of these things. If you have to ensure that you do not shoot in a public space like that and maybe manage to push the robbers to a place where you think it's secure to do that, I think it's the best to do. But it has happened, and I think we should continue to admonish the police to uphold their professionalism and ensure that we don't experience all these things in our society. It's sometimes cause to question how professionally they are trained, but let's leave it like that. Speaker Bagbin seems is always an interesting speaker for me. I think that he takes on issues and speaks his mind, and these are the people that we need in our society. Talking about an overwhelming majority, I agree. I agree that we don't need that because we have seen what is happening in Parliament. Some of the decisions that are taken, you need to marshal all your numbers before you can push it through. So I hope that in the next election, we will still have, I don't know whether there are going to be additional constituencies, but we will still have something like this, where the numbers are split, and then we'll have one or two independent candidates in there, who will not declare their stance for any political party, but would take decisions based on the beliefs that they have, the will of the people that they are representing, and also their own conscience to ensure that the development of the nation is put first. So this is what I'm actually hoping for. I'm just praying that we have more independent candidates in parliament who are independent with the true sense of the word independent. And then we will see a parliament that would be effective, because when you have an overwhelming majority, they don't even think about consensus building.
Yeah.
If you disagree, they just call for votes, and then they vote, and they take away whatever decision that they want to take, forgetting that they are representing the people. And normally, I believe that leadership, the kind of leadership that we have here, do not really think about what the people want. And maybe I would digress and look at this lithium discussion that we are having. I'm hoping that one of the newsletters will bring it up. Because if you are representing people and you are taking decisions instead of the people, what you do is that the people's requests, the people's priorities become your priority. But we don't see that in our leaders here. It is what they think is right for us that they push, without acknowledging the fact that we also have a brain of our own. We know how
it's akin to, this analogy just came to mind. It's akin to being hungry, right? And you've paid for a buffet, so you have options, and you say, serve me some food, and the person doesn't ask you which food you want. They bring you kenke and all that, and you're like, no, I want poto. And they insist that no, it is kenke you must eat. That's exactly what you're saying. They decide what you want.
Yes, and sometimes they do it in such a way that they make you look stupid, like you don't know what you want, and I am the one who is supposed to tell you what to. It's sometimes disheartening, and I think that when we have a split parliament, we'll be able to push through some of the things that the people really want and want to see happening in the country. As for the president being a lame duck president, I think that is a term that is used to mean somebody a politician who's got a successor, and because of that, the person is seen to be a little bit ineffective. And I don't know what for the successor part. I think it is true, but I don't know what the other meaning the speaker was referring to. If it is for the person who's got a successor, then I think he's right. But to go further, looking at the word in dictionary and see the ineffective or unsuccessful bit of it, I don't think that is what the speaker was talking about. And of course, we know that the president is the president till 2025, 7th January. And for the New Patriotic Party, I think it's just politically right to now project their candidate, who is the vice president.
Right.
So the president should lay back a little and allow the vice president to do most of the work. And also at the same time, a lot of people would want to position themselves for other positions as the vice president continues to lead the party. So I think it's normal. It shouldn't be something that anybody should be worried about. It's normal.
Let's quickly get into these stories, and I'm just going to tease them out. On page 5 of the Daily Guide newspaper, migrants are poisoning the blood of our country. And it's that man again. Yeah. Donald Trump. Migrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Just weeks after using the fascist terminology vermin to describe sections of American society he dislikes, he again declared at a New Hampshire rally that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. When he was president, though, why didn't he purge all the migrants? And for him to find out what his economy in the United States will be. Mr. So-called Make America Great Again. I mean, I don't hesitate to take on anybody who speaks. I'll hold it there. I don't want to say certain things. But this man, I don't know. Everyone has an opinion, but some of his opinions are so abrasive. If you felt the Mexicans, all those people from other parts of the world, the African contingents there, do you know what they are doing for your country, Mr. Trump? I know you probably will never see this, but the American community in Ghana will see it. Likely the ambassador will see it. Such rhetoric is what gets, some of these countries in trouble and stokes unnecessary anger. Your economy was built on the blood of, and you're here talking about. Anyway,
I think even at the time that we are talking about a global system where we are supposed to engage and exchange so many things, at the time that we are promoting global citizenship education, at the time that people are opening their borders to allow people to come in and assist with the development of their various nations, I don't think that it's a good statement coming from somebody as powerful as the ex-president of the United States of America. And I believe that truly some of his statements we should have a second look at that. I know he's an unconventional person, and I know that some of the things that he does seems to be off the book, but I think that sometimes it goes far above what normally statement should be saying. All of us are in the global system. We respect each other, and we've contributed to the development of all of us in terms of our various nations and other things. And I think we should be given the needed respect.
I think just very quickly so we can move on. Were you going to say something else? Were you going to add something?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. I was just going to add that there's unconventional and then there's thoughtless. There's a difference. Let me just bring this story. 61 people found dead in shipwreck off Libyan coast. They include women and children who have drowned following a shipwreck off Libya, a UN agency has said. I'm always concerned about these. But interestingly, just a few days ago, a Ghanaian who is in Libya currently, who's been trying to cross over to, is it Italy also? He sent me WhatsApp messages. Apparently, during the COVID era many years ago, I'd had an interview with him. And he's talking about, so he's there, they tried crossing, apprehended, he was imprisoned, he was brought out, then some rebel group or something came and freed them. Libya now is quite a mess. And now he's sort of working with them and all that. And it's, Charlie, those of you contemplating this Libya thing, I beg you, think twice. Think twice. There's also Vatican cardinal handed 5.5 years jail for embezzlement. I'm Catholic, but hey. A Vatican court on Saturday found Cardinal Angelo Becciu guilty of committing numerous financial crimes, sentencing the Italian to 5 years and 6 months in jail at the end of a 2-year trial. Becciu, a former advisor to Pope Francis and once considered a contender to become Pope himself one day, is the highest ranking official within the Catholic Church ever to stand trial before the court. The 75-year-old also became the first cardinal ever to be found guilty of a crime by the Vatican court. It is what it is. If you don't have any reactions, we can move on, but if you do, any quick thoughts?
Yeah, so 2 quick thoughts. I think that what happens around the desert, Libya, and Mali, Niger, thereabouts, it's a big blow to our leaders. In fact, it's a blot on the capacity of our leaders to transform the little that we have here and to minimize corruption and make the place better for all of us to stay in and contribute to its development. I understand that mostly when you leave the country, you are able to gather enough to come and support the people back home, but you don't go through this difficulty to get to a destination where you think that you can make it. And that should always speak to our leaders that we need to do better for our people so that they don't go through that ordeal in an attempt to get something to support themselves and have a hope of a better future. I think that is something that should not be negotiable. The Vatican story is interesting, and it's the only lesson I pick from it is that it doesn't matter who you are. When you fall short of the law, you face the consequences. And we, those in Ghana and the blacks, should learn from this. Most of the times we hide the prominent, the big people in the society when they fall foul of the law, and then we punish the non-entity, those who have no name, those who don't have anybody to speak for them. And I think that is a society that we are building, and it makes us look a little bit weird. But in other places, you see stories like this. There's no way, and I can say that for sure, that there's no way that a priest of that caliber in a black country would face the courts and be handed down this kind of punishment. It's going to be difficult for such a thing to happen in a black country or in an African country.
Let's get into some other stories very quickly. The final newspaper, what have they found? Bank of Ghana rewards winners of ECD Hackathon with 1 million Ghana cedis. 66,000 vie for 37,290 positions in tomorrow's district level elections. And we wish all the contenders the very best. Government Barari DV agreement is the best Ghana has ever signed. Best as compared to what exactly? Are we looking at what our compatriots are getting? Ghana? I think that's mediocre thinking. I've read extensively on this, positive comments, negative comments. I have my own thoughts, and I think we could still do better. There's also the Ghanaian publisher, LOC brands Accra for all African Games, and MPP, NDC dominate assembly election. We all know a lot of them are political anyway, but I don't know what the way forward is. And then going back to the lithium deal that is touted by Abu Janapo. I've also been reading this statement from Dr. Steve Manteyao. He says, lithium deal, Ghana's best natural resource contract ever. That's his thinking. I've seen that. I read it over the weekend. And just to be fair, that's what he's also saying. That's his thinking. That's how we'll wrap the conversation. Any final thoughts for us? So there's lithium, which you started talking about. Is it the best deal ever? I don't know. And district level elections coming up. Your take.
Yeah, I think they will say it's best because they are comparing to something that's been worse for us. What are they comparing to? The discovery of gold, the mining of gold, diamond, and then recent times, the oil. And all these, the deals that we have entered into have not been in a good time. So if anybody is able to add even just +1 to the original deals that we are used to, they will call it the best. And that is why they are saying that.
You know, you've expressed my thoughts succinctly. Cogently. That's exactly what I'm thinking. So if you've got two in the past, someone comes to get 3 and says it's the best, but the best as compared to what?
Yes. My English teacher will tell you that you are the best among the weak lots when you are the best student in the class, and in that class, all of them are not doing well. So an average student will become the best in that particular class, and that is what is happening. I think that the minister is a young guy, a man like myself. I think we'll be age mates, and I think he should sit down and then think through some of the things that is going on around this lithium thing. I believe that the future is for us, and he's got an opportunity to make an impact. He should listen to the varied views that are coming up. He should slow down and ensure that whatever he does today, fortunately for us, and I'm hoping we will live and see the next 20, 30 years, he will not look back and say that he did not do well for the country. I think that should guide his thinking when he sits behind his desk and he's doing some of these negotiations and these deals. That is the only thing I would want to say. For the LOC, I think the sports that they are coming to do, I hope that we get the best out of it. It should be able to bring up the economy in Accra in the place that they are going to have it. The district assembly elections, our decentralization system is in a mess. And I sometimes tend to agree with the president that we should, if possible, open up and allow the political parties to play the role that they play. Because technically, as the people said, most of these people are from the political parties. And behind the fact that they should be non-partisan in order to get into that particular place. But I think if you open it up and also allow people who are competent enough to enter the district assembly, we'll be able to lift the face of our districts up, and this would even help solve some of these problems our basic schools are facing. Because when you have people who are competent and they understand the system, they understand the education system, they wouldn't allow a school to be sited near a cemetery or students to sit in places where snakes will come and bite them. So we should all show interest in the district assembly elections, but we should ensure that we get the qualified people up at the district level to help with the local development of our society or communities. Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're grateful that you've made our show a part of your Monday morning. We wish you the very best. And that is Dr. Peter Atie, Executive Director, Institute for Education Studies. 2 birthday wishes this morning. From me to my favorite twinnies. Well, I have to watch that because I have some very little twinnies. But Gladys and Gloria Joaire, happy birthday to you. You guys always put smiles on my face. We wish you the very best in life. May God bless you abundantly. Gladys Joaire and Gloria Joaire. Also to Dr. Emmanuel Fiau of the Zoe Hospital and Fertility Center. I know you are not aware I'm going to do this, but happy birthday to you. God bless you, sir. It's been a while. Well, that's how we cap off the news review. Right before we get into sports and we talk Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea, Sheffield United, and all of that, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic helps us bring you this segment. And here's what they're offering you. If you're a man, fertility. If you're a man, prostate screening for free. I nearly said fertility screening. And if you're a woman, fertility screening for free. Here's where you can locate them. Here in Accra, Spintex opposite the Shell signboard. Kumasi, Kronomo Abuehia behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takrady Anaji State, Tema Community 22. Techiman Hansua and Esiamanzima. Their call lines, are you ready? 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. The end to chronic disease. But sports is just around the corner. Do stay.